Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Locker Room, our weekly podcast where we shine a light on all the student athletes here in our Bayou region. I am Stan Gravois. He is Dustin Robichaud. We're happy to be with you. Hope you all had a terrific Easter holiday, both Holy Week before and this past spring break, as my friend Dustin got to travel up to the Northeast. How was that?
It was great, Stan. Yeah, we went up to Virginia, but we stopped off in Georgia a couple of days, and we had a good time.
Very good. Took up pretty much the whole week.
Pretty much taking care of grandbabies. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. That's always a good thing. That's always a good thing. Listen, there was lots of baseball played last week, lots of softball played, as everybody's trying to get in those last games to increase their PowerPoint rankings before it's all announced tomorrow morning and then on Wednesday morning related to baseball and softball. So we're going to get you caught up with that. Would like you to know that there are a lot of other sports going on. Go out and support those kids who are golfing. As a matter of fact, I went to the Bayou Country Club over in Thibodaux the other day, and there was a huge high school tournament going on. So just watch some of those kids play, and some of them very, very talented. Obviously, bowling is still going on. You have other sports like tennis that are still happening. Track and field, obviously, all those kids are trying to get the best times and the best distances to make the state meet. So we wish them all well in their endeavors. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about baseball and softball today because it is getting to be playoff times. But before we do all of that, it's always important that we know what today is. You know, it's Monday, it's April 13th. But more importantly, today is
Happy National Scrabble Day, Stan.
Scrabble. I couldn't tell you the last time I played Scrabble.
Yes, I used to love Scrabble. I would play it all the time with my siblings. And when I first met my wife, we played the, I guess, phone version of Scrabble called Words with Friends.
Is that right?
Same game, but, it's just digital.
No, it's been a long time, which I think is absolutely great that families get around and play board games. I think that's terrific. Families, friends, whatever the case
Sure.
may be. But hadn't done it in a while. I know my wife does something called Wordle. Ever hear of that?
Yes. My
She's a big,
sister is a big fan.
yeah, well, my wife does do that, but Scrabble, not a long time. I have another sister who's into, oh man, I just kind of stuck my foot in my mouth because I can't remember the name of it. Something Japanese, Mahjong, something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, too complicated for me. Simple man, as Leonard Skinner would say. Uh, let's jump into it. Who's going to be in the playoffs? Who's not? Because it gets real interesting, and some things I thought were going to happen are not going to happen. Most is pretty solid related to who we thought was going to get in and who's not. But there were a couple of surprises, and it all sort of happened this week. First of all, we talk about baseball. In Division I, non-select, we have no local Bayou Region teams in. Now, we do have Hornbill and Destrehan in. And if you consider Hornbill and Destrehan to be Bayou Region teams, I guess good, but we certainly consider them more to be River Region teams. But they are in the Division I non-select bracket. Unfortunately, Thibodaux and Terrebonne had a horrendous week this week, and it knocked them out. They were both sitting on the bubble. Terrebonne had a bad loss to South Terrebonne on Saturday. It actually propelled South Terrebonne just a little bit, but it certainly cost Terrebonne along the way. And Thibodaux just sort of got stuck in the muck this week and couldn't get out their way a little bit. And unfortunately, it looks like both of those teams are going to be out of the playoffs. Again, everything official tomorrow, folks. So we're doing this Monday morning. We're giving you unofficial, but wink, wink, we pretty much know exactly who's going to be in and who's going to be out. Let's take a look at Division II non-select baseball. Lutcher easily in at number 3. Assumption easily in at number 17. Remember, the top 24 make it. At number 22, and I want to give a huge kudos out to this team and this coach. Allender Memorial High School is in the playoffs for the first time since 2006. Think about that, folks. That's quite a long time.
20 years.
Jamie Delahousie does a terrific job with that team. And this year, he's got them at 500. First time they don't have a losing season at Allender in all of those years. 2006 was the last time. He's done a great job the last umpteen years. He's been there probably about 7 years, and he's always done a great job. Allender just doesn't have the feeder system towards baseball that some other schools have. So kudos to him at number 22. No way he's going to be knocked out of the playoffs. And getting in, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, South Terrebonne at number 23. Remember, I was talking about South Terrebonne being on the bubble just a couple of weekends ago, but a big win against Terrebonne propelled them. I think South Terrebonne's going to be in because most of the games are done today. It's basically finished in baseball. So South Terrebonne at number 23 gets in under that 24 threshold. In select, it's a little bit different. We got teams that are in, and not only are they in, I have a feeling we're going to have some state champions from the area. First, we talk about Division II select. Vanderbilt Catholic is the number 1 seed. They did have a rough outing against Sam Houston this past weekend. Sam Houston is really good. They're in Division I. I think it's going to make Vanderbilt better. I think the kids are going to understand what it takes to win a state championship. So sometimes a loss right before the playoffs is not necessarily a bad thing. Edie White goes in at number 7. Not bad, but Edie White hadn't been playing great baseball as of late. So we have 2 teams in the Division II select bracket, that being Vanderbilt at 1, Edie White at 7. In Division III select, Homer Christian going in at number 18. I wish you could say it was with an up arrow, like I wish they were just shooting up the sort of the power rankings, but it hasn't been that way. They actually have been steadily falling all year long, but they are going to get in. Remember, in select baseball, only 20 make the bracket. So 24 in non-select, 20 in select. And then we go to Division IV select baseball. Covenant Christian sitting at number 2. They had a great week. They defeated for the second time St. Charles Catholic, who is the number 2 team in Division II. So CC actually played 2 divisions up and beat the number 2 team in the state twice. So CCA is in good shape. I'm telling you, wink, wink again, CCA is going to win a state championship this year. I really believe that. I believe that the stars are sort of lining up. I don't believe they're as good as they were last year, quite honestly, but who cares? That's not the way it always works out. I just think things are happening the right way for them right now. Central Catholic of Morgan City going to get in also. They're at number 16. They're actually playing a lot better baseball than they did at the beginning of the year. So they might make a little noise in that bracket. So again, here we go from top to bottom. Hornville, Destrehan, Lutcher, Assumption, Allender, South Terrebonne, Vanderbilt, Edie White, Homer Christian, Covenant Christian, Central Catholic are going to make the baseball playoffs from our local area. And I even throw in Hornville, Destrehan, and Lutcher, and they're basically river schools, right? So now we shift gears. We go to softball. Who's going to be in softball, who's not? We have a clear path to who's in and who is not. First, let's talk about Division II non-select. In Division II non-select, Destrehan and Hornville are in. You guys got to be tired of talking, or me talking about Destrehan and Hornville. They're just the cream of the crop in that district. In every sport, they pretty much wipe everything out, and they did it again. Destrehan is the number 4 team in the state. Hornville is the number 8 team in the state in Division II non-select. Now, we do have a local team that's going to get in. That's Thibodaux at number 18. Thibodaux was flirting with disaster. Their softball program had a tough couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago. And they moved to that 23-22 level, but now they dropped as they had a good week last week, and they go down to 18. So at 18, they're safely in the playoffs. We hope they do well. In Division II non-select, Lutcher at number 2. Again, we talk about those river teams in our local district. They're just good, and Lutcher is the number 2 team in non-select. South Terrebonne at number 11. That's a pretty good seed. And Assumption at number 15. That's the only team who's going to make it in our local area in Division II non-select. We move on to Division II select. The heavy hitters, number 1 and number 2 in the state, Vanderbilt and E.D. White. Wouldn't it be great to see those two teams playing in the state championship? And I think that's what we'll have. As a matter of fact, this past week, Vanderbilt lost a couple of games. They played a couple of powers in St. Joseph this past week. They also lost to Destrehan last week. They dropped to number 2. E.D. White overtook them, and E.D. White was number 1 in the state. Then E.D. White played on Saturday, and they dropped the game, so they fell back to number 2. I don't think it matters that much, except that the number 2 team is going to have to play Archbishop Hannon to get to the state championship team. The number 1 team, I think, has a clear path. So as it stands right now, it's Vanderbilt Catholic. Vanderbilt is actually playing a game later today. They win it. I think they stay at number 1. Nonetheless, to have 2 teams at number 1 and number 2 from our local area is tremendous. That is in Division II Select. In Division III Select, Homer Christian stayed steady all year long, and they're steadily going to get in at number 11, so they'll be just fine. And in Division IV Select, Covenant Christian had a great year. They're going to go in as the number 5 seed. Number 18, Central Catholic, easily in. Listen, the thing about Covenant Christian is they've only played about 16, 17 games this year. Most teams are around 40. So I just hope that Covenant Christian has enough games under their belt against good competition to make a little run at it. But at number 5, you're going to be seated really well in the bracket. So we certainly hope that they do well. So that's a look. Again, to go over softball, Destrehan, Hornville, Thibodaux, Lutcher, South Terrebonne, Assumption, Vanderbilt, E.D. White, Homer Christian, Covenant Christian, and Central Catholic, all going to be in. So, Dustin, we are well represented in the Bayou region in the playoffs.
Sounds great.
Yes, it does. Listen, again, there are a lot of other sports going on. Go out and support those. The thing about the other sports, they're based on times and they're based on scores. So to get into the playoffs, to get into state competition, I should say, you have to achieve certain times. And, we have a lot of track meets that are getting to their district meets and their regional meets. We'll keep you abreast of who is doing well and who might win state championships related to both individual honors and team honors. Of course, baseball and softball are both team sports, which is why we sort of stick with those as far as power rankings and such. Hope everybody has a terrific week this week. Want to remind you once again, we have our big Bayou Region Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony in June. That's June 18th. If you want to check it out, go to brahoff.com, BRAHOF.com, and you could find more information. It's a way of celebrating those who have come before us in the past. I say before us, before you youngsters. Some of them are not so much before me, but they've done well in the area. And
Great class going in.
Great class
going in this
Justin
year.
and I have had the pleasure of interviewing some of the inductees as we get ready for that gala. A lot of fun, a lot of talent, obviously. And again, they set great examples for those folks who are trying to achieve, trying to get to some sort of level related to sports. That's going to do it for us. Hope you all have a terrific week. Dustin, any closing parting shots?
You playing Scrabble tonight? Scheduling that Scrabble game?
So what is it called? Happy Scrabble Day?
National Scrabble Day.
National Scrabble Day. My answer to that, simply, I could lie to you. No, I'm not playing Scrabble tonight.
Okay.
I might do something that stimulates my brain. I'm a crossword.
There you go.
Yeah. And Scrabble does stimulate the brain. Great board game. Got no problems with it. But for you guys who like Scrabble, hope you're enjoying your day. As a matter of fact, I hope you have or had the day off today.
Okay.
I think I'm taking it a little too far, especially right
Yes.
right after spring break. Saying that. Anyway, that's it for us, folks. We'll see you next Monday.